How's it going, YouTube? Gamer Trip for Life, or Gamer, whatever you want to call me. And today we're going to be talking about the end of the zombie storyline. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I was recently watching a couple zombie commentators. They were talking about a couple different topics that are really cool. I forgot the name of the guy that I was watching, but I'll leave him in the description so you guys can go check him out. And he was on the subject of what Black Ops 3 Zombies will be about. So he was talking about how Buried, and I didn't know this, how Buried was technically the end of the original zombie storyline, according to him. Now, there is no confirmation on this, to my knowledge, but then again, I haven't been very up-to-date about the Black Ops 3 Zombies. So, according to him, Buried was the end of the original zombie storyline, about Richtofen, going to the moon, blowing up the rockets, becoming the king of the zombies, or going into the Aether, taking control of the zombies, etc., etc. Fight between Maxis and Richtofen, all that sort of stuff is supposedly out of the game, or out of the Black Ops 3 storyline, and they're starting fresh from an alternate ending from Origins. Now, I don't know how I really feel about this. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm very displeased with this if this is the case, but then again, there's no way that he actually knows this unless he's played the Black Ops 3 Zombies, which they've only shown, snippets. They've only shown little bits and pieces. So if that's really the case, then I'm going to be really disappointed, because I feel like the ending to the Buried Easter egg, and this could be, I just recently watched the ending to Richtofen's again just to refresh my mind, but I didn't watch Maxis, so maybe my opinion will change as I watch Maxis's ending. But especially for the end of Richtofen's Easter egg, it just feels like that shouldn't be an ending to a whole saga of Nazi zombies. Everything that would go into it in the ending, and it's really cool how it ends. Screen shakes, he puts Maxis and takes him out of existence, and then he tries to go into Samuel's body, and he says something like, "I'll be back later," because he's trying to get used to it. But there is no later if, according to this guy, if there's no more zombies. There's no more of this original zombie line. Now Richtofen, or whoever you chose to win, now they are in control. And I can understand how that could be an ending, because that's a really, really big, broad decision. Either one person being in control of the zombies or the other, which has always been the struggle of zombies. Now that we look back on it, is always Richtofen trying to get a control of the zombies, going to the Aether, etc., etc. And so in a way, he's kind of realized his goal, but I feel like there's more that's going to happen. And I feel like, although even in the Easter egg you see the characters go around infinity and you see them lying there dead, but that means that there's more for Richtofen, there's more for him to do, there's more for him to play with, and I feel like there's a way that people and humanity can come back into power and take Richtofen out of the Aether. Because in that little decision, there's only two evils. Maxis technically could be considered a good guy, but he's a Nazi, so he's not really a good guy. And Richtofen is just a bad egg. He's just terrible. He's just the one you don't want. He's funny, but he's just the guy that you don't want him to be in charge. And I feel like that's not really the way you end a saga. That's not how you end anything. You don't end him on a cliffhanger with the bad guy saying, "I'll be back later." It's not how you end something, and even me, I don't have a college degree in filmography or whatever you want to call it, and I'm not a writer, I'm not a professional writer, I'm not game designer, any of that sort of stuff. But I know that kind of just left me with an empty hole, and that doesn't really fulfill me as a zombies player and a player and a observer of the zombie storyline. That doesn't really fulfill my need for the zombies gameplay. And so what I think is going to happen is they are going to build off of that alternate ending to Origins. I think that's what they're going to do. But I think the stipulation is they're going to switch off every single map. So in the first map, it might be what happens after Origins, World War I on that separate timeline, the new universe, whatever you may have you. But on the next map, maybe it's tuning back into the original universe, seeing what Richtofen's doing, seeing the new struggles that arrive, because you can't tell me that there's nothing more for him to do. You can't tell me that there's going to be, that he's going to kill everybody on Earth, even though a lot of people are probably dead after, rockets hitting the Earth and just destroying it. There has to be more to it. and there's more stuff that we don't know. There's so many unanswered questions in all of the maps, and I feel like there's so much that they could fill in. They might not want to, but I feel like there's so much that we've speculated about that they could even build off of themselves. Or just, you know what they should do? They should just hire about 50 of the Zombies players or the Zombies YouTubers to just do the story that way, and then they'll just develop the maps as they say it. Because if they just leave it as it is, they're really not bringing it to its full potential. I mean, they've gotten their whole Zombies fan base on this original timeline, and obviously I'm not gonna not be a Zombies fan because of the new timeline, and I'm not gonna be that anal about it. I loved Origins, and I think whatever they're gonna do, it's gonna be great. I just really hope that they do what I'm saying, or something along those lines, and don't just leave out that old timeline. Because other games have done this. Mortal Kombat did that, and that was, you know, Mortal Kombat's doing well. But to be honest, it's hard for me as a player to understand, you know, the history of Mortal Kombat. Okay, where does it break off? What is Scorpion, etc.? You know, why is Sub-Zero and Scorpion hate each other? It's hard to keep track. It's hard to keep track of what's happening and what will happen. And it's hard to be immersed in the history and the story of the game if there's two alternate timelines. Obviously, there's, you know, Big Loop, Mob of the Dead in itself is an alternate timeline, but there's that just proves the fact that there's no reason why they can't still go back to the original timeline, add more to that, make another Zombies map, and then switch off as there may be. You know what will be even really cool? I just thought about this. Having two maps for each map pack, two Zombies maps for each map pack, showing what's happening in each timeline. So Origins on this one, this is the continuation of Origins, this is a continuation of the original timeline. That would be really awesome. Now obviously they're probably not going to do that because they're greedy motherfuckers, but that would be amazing. I would love that as a fan. That would be catering to me, and I would probably have to kiss Vondi's feet and soak them in the blood of my ancestors or something regal like that. But anyways, that's just my opinion on the matter. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this commentary. If you did, leave a like and a comment. Tell me what you guys want to see. I'm going to be posting a lot more Zombies content, hopefully, and Counter-Strike as well. That's been another passion of mine. But anyways, I digress. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys later. Peace.